Hi, my name is Bill Kearns. In this video I'm going to take a quick look at a query that I'm using for a blog website. And here's my data schema. So this schema is for posting to a blog website. I have a table posts and a table White Rose Freedom Warrior posts, and then White Rose Freedom Warrior profiles. So then I have some other tables: profile invites, if someone's invited, events, calendar events, image events, different things. What I want to focus on is the post, because I have my post flat, and I think ideally I am supporting HTML, but I would have a full text search here, and then the recursive functionality of the blog is really here in White Rose Freedom Warrior posts. So I think sometimes people would put, a self-join right in the table. I chose to move that to a different table so that I could add additional columns to this that would describe really the whole root of the post, so that you could make different types out of your posts. The original implementation of this was that there's an RSS syndicate, and someone would blast an RSS syndicate. A user would click on an email and then look at just that one blog or that one RSS post, and then be able to make replies to that one post. So I moved the recursive nature out. So here I have a CTE query, not using any query parameters, but here is my anchor, and then I union into and select from the CTE portion of the first part of the CTE query. And I always start with hierarchy level 1 and essentially look for a null in my anchors in my recursive table. Sorry, that's my anchor here in my recursive table, and then build out from there. So from there I select from the CTE query, and here I have a derived table that is getting the count of children to see how many children there are for the root. And here I have an isMain thread to show if it is a root of a blog. And then here I have which hierarchy is the parent. And then here I have a hierarchy column that I'm creating dynamically in the CTE results. So it's actually interesting. The format of this hierarchy field that's created from the CTE results is very similar to the hierarchy data type. I've worked with really advanced stuff in SQL, well, at least as far as SQL XML and the SQL version of XPath. I've imported types. I've imported DLLs. I've used web services. You can actually call a RESTful web service right from SQL Server. A lot of people don't prefer that because of the security vulnerabilities it brings right into unmanaged code, but into unmanaged memory. But regardless, I'd rather do it this way. I found a lot of limitations when I worked with hierarchy data type, but that's about it. So it was a good, good query, and here I've created some gibberish, some test data, so you can see how my hierarchy data type expands, and the count of children's accurate, which hierarchy is joined, so you could compare as to based on that, and then how many levels deep the hierarchy is. So there's just a lot of great information. I like doing things with SQL because I can't put a CTE query in a view, but you can pull so much with data out of a good view or a good CTE query, or some sets of derived tables if you have aggregates that count out, and then the detail. So there's just so much you can do with SQL that I think oftentimes newer developers that work on the front end don't realize, where you can really replace so much middle tier and now front end code with a really good query. But so that's what I have. Thanks for listening to me. I hope we can connect.